Gilligan's Island, 1964-1967, remains one of the most beloved sitcoms in television history. The show captured the hearts of viewers with its quirky characters and unforgettable storylines. However, many of the cast members who brought these iconic roles to life have passed away, leaving behind lasting legacies. While Gilligan's Island continues to be cherished by fans, it's also a bittersweet reminder of the talented actors who are no longer with us. Here are 12 beloved Gilligan's Island actors who tragically passed away, each of whom contributed significantly to the show's cultural impact. Bob Denver as Gilligan. Bob Denver, born on January 9, 1935 in New Rochelle, New York, became an enduring figure in television history through his portrayal of the bumbling first mate, Gilligan, on the beloved sitcom Gilligan's Island, 1964-1967. Denver was just 29 when he was cast as the lovable, accident-prone character, whose good intentions always seemed to lead to chaotic consequences. Despite his clumsiness, Gilligan became an iconic TV figure, and Denver's portrayal remains one of the most memorable in TV history. His performance not only made Gilligan's Island a pop culture sensation, but also helped cement his place as a cultural icon. Bob Denver's career spanned several decades, and while Gilligan's Island was his most famous role, he continued to find success in television, including roles in The Good Guys and Dusty's Trail. However, Denver's personal life was not as smooth as his on-screen success. He faced multiple failed marriages and personal struggles, dealing with the pressures of fame and the complications that came with it. Denver also battled with substance abuse and the challenges of maintaining stability in his career, often overshadowed by his earlier success. He remained a beloved figure, but his life outside the spotlight was often a tough journey. In his later years, Denver continued to attend fan conventions and participate in Gilligan's Island reunions. Yet, in his final years, his health declined. Bob Denver passed away on September 2, 2005, at the age of 70 from cancer in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. At the time of his death, his net worth was estimated at $20 million, a stark contrast to the personal and financial struggles he had faced throughout his life. Natalie Schafer as Mrs. Howell. Natalie Schafer was born on November 5, 1908, in New York City, New York. She is best remembered for portraying the sophisticated and wealthy socialite, Mrs. Lovey Howell, on Gilligan's Island, 1964-1967. Schafer, who was in her mid-50s when she took on the role, brought an air of elegance to the show's quirky characters. Mrs. Howell's charming but often clueless demeanor created a delightful contrast to her husband's eccentricities. Schafer's portrayal of Mrs. Howell became iconic in TV history, and the character continues to be remembered as a symbol of upper-class wealth and social grace. Throughout her career, Natalie Schafer had a rich history in theater, television, and film. She appeared in numerous films, including The Pallisers, 1974, and The New Adventures of Gilligan's Island, 1978, but she is forever remembered for her role on Gilligan's Island. Despite her success, Schafer's personal life was marred by struggles, including a tragic and early marriage to a much older man who passed away shortly after their wedding. Later in life, Schafer faced health issues and the loneliness that came with the passing of her co-stars. She remained dedicated to her career and was beloved by fans for her generosity and warmth. Natalie Schafer passed away on December 10, 1991, at the age of 83 in Beverly Hills, California. At the time of her death, her net worth was estimated to be around $5 million, reflecting the success she achieved during her career. Her portrayal of Mrs. Howell remains a memorable and beloved part of TV history. Mel Blanc as the parrot. Melvin Jerome Blanc, born on May 30, 1908 in San Francisco, California, was already a household name when he lent his iconic voice to Gilligan's Island in 1964. At 56 years old, Blanc voiced the parrot, a small but memorable character that brought an extra layer of humor to the show. Known as the Man of a Thousand Voices, Blank's vast vocal range allowed him to bring life to countless beloved characters, making the parrot's brief appearance on Gilligan's Island a true testament to his extraordinary talent. Before joining the Gilligan's Island cast, Blank had already cemented his place in entertainment history. His voice work on Looney Tunes as characters like Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, and Porky Pig made him a cultural icon. Blank's unique ability to create unforgettable voices for animated characters allowed him to dominate the world of cartoons for decades, making him one of the most influential voice actors of all time. Behind the curtain of his success, Blanc faced personal challenges that tested his resilience. In 1961, he was in a life-threatening car accident that left him in a coma for several weeks. Despite the severity of the accident, Blanc made a remarkable recovery, returning to voice acting shortly after. His career continued to soar, but his health began to decline as he struggled with emphysema, a result of his smoking habits. In his later years, Blanc also battled heart disease, which further impacted his health. Mel Blanc passed away on July 10, 1989, at 81 years old, due to complications from emphysema and heart disease. At the time of his death, his net worth was estimated at $25 million, accumulated through his remarkable career in voice acting. Blanc's legacy endures, as his voice continues to bring joy to fans across generations, and he remains an irreplaceable figure in the world of animation. Jim Backus as Thurston Howell III. Jim Backus, born on February 25, 1913, in Cleveland, Ohio, became a TV icon through his portrayal of the wealthy and pompous Thurston Howell III on Gilligan's Island. Backus was 51 years old when he began his iconic role, and he brought humor and charm to the character of Howell, whose comic arrogance and affable nature made him a standout on the show. His performance as a high-society millionaire was a perfect foil to the other more eccentric characters, making him an essential part of the series' charm. Before Gilligan's Island, Jim Backus was already a well-known actor, having appeared in numerous films and television shows. He gained fame for his role as the voice of Mr. Magoo in the animated series of the same name, a role that earned him recognition as one of the first stars of animated television. Despite his successes, Backus struggled with health issues later in life, including being diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Despite his illness, he continued working and remained involved in television appearances. Jim Backus passed away on July 3, 1989, at the age of 76 in Los Angeles, California, from complications of pneumonia, a result of his ongoing battle with Parkinson's disease. At the time of his death, his net worth was estimated at $10 million. Backus left behind a legacy of memorable roles, most notably as Thurston Howell III, forever securing his place in the hearts of Gilligan's Island fans. Zsa Gabor as Erica Tiffany Smith. Zsa Gabor, born on February 6, 1917, in Budapest, Hungary, was a legendary actress and socialite who graced Gilligan's Island with her presence in 1964. At 47 years old, she played Erica Tiffany Smith, a glamorous and ambitious millionaire who tried to turn the deserted island into a luxury resort. Her portrayal of Erica was as bold and extravagant as Gabor herself, bringing a touch of high society to the otherwise humble and chaotic life of the castaways. Gabor's unmistakable charm, wit, and sophisticated air made her character a perfect fit for the island's quirky dynamics. Before joining Gilligan's Island, Zsa had already become a household name, starring in films like Moulin Rouge, 1952, and The Queen of Outer Space, 1958. However, her personal life often overshadowed her acting career. Gabor was married 9 times, including to Conrad Hilton, the hotel magnate, and actor George Sanders. Her numerous marriages, divorces, and the controversies surrounding her love life kept her firmly in the spotlight. Gabor, ever the witty public figure, famously quipped, "I'm a great housekeeper. Every time I leave a man, I keep his house." Her relationships were as flamboyant and dramatic as her career, and she became a cultural icon for her larger-than-life persona. Gabor's later years were marked by significant personal and health challenges. Her relationship with her daughter, Francesca Hilton, was tumultuous, and their strained bond added emotional weight to Gabor's life. In 2002, she was involved in a severe car accident, which left her partially paralyzed, and her health further declined over the years due to multiple strokes. Despite these struggles, Gabor remained glamorous and maintained a strong public image, making rare appearances that showcased her enduring spirit. Russell Johnson as the Professor. Russell Johnson, born on November 10, 1924, in Ashley, Pennsylvania, portrayed the brilliant and resourceful Professor Roy Hinckley on Gilligan's Island, 1964-1967. Johnson was 39 years old when he took on the role of the intelligent, calm, and problem-solving member of the group. The professor's scientific knowledge and ability to engineer solutions to the group's various dilemmas provided much of the show's clever humor and intellectual charm. Johnson's portrayal of the character was both thoughtful and endearing, making him a fan favorite. Before Gilligan's Island, Russell Johnson had an established career in films and television, with roles in The Twilight Zone and The Guns of Will Sonnet. However, it was his role as the professor that defined his legacy. Johnson faced personal struggles, including a period of financial instability after the show's end. Despite this, he remained a beloved figure, known for his warmth and sharp wit in real life as well as on screen. Russell Johnson passed away on January 16, 2014, at the age of 89 from natural causes in Washington, United States. His net worth at the time of death was around $5 million. Johnson's contribution to Gilligan's Island remains timeless, as he continues to be remembered for his smart and calm portrayal of the professor, one of the show's most beloved characters. Dawn Wells as Mary Ann. Dawn Wells, born on October 18, 1938 in Reno, Nevada, became an iconic TV figure through her portrayal of the wholesome and girl-next-door Mary Ann Summers on Gilligan's Island, 1964-1967. At 25, Wells brought to life a character who was sweet, strong, and resourceful, often serving as the emotional anchor of the castaways. Her charming innocence and down-to-earth personality made Mary Ann one of the most popular and enduring characters in television history. Wells's portrayal of Mary Ann remains a symbol of warmth and sincerity. After Gilligan's Island, Wells appeared in various TV shows and films, but none of her roles ever quite reached the level of fame she achieved with Mary Ann. She faced personal challenges, including financial difficulties later in life, and even struggled with the pressure of being typecast. Despite this, Wells continued to work in the industry and remained active in her support for Gilligan's Island conventions and reunions. Dawn Wells passed away on December 30, 2020, at the age of 82 from complications of COVID-19 in Los Angeles, California. Her net worth at the time of her death was estimated at $2 million. Mary Ann's legacy lives on, as Wells remains a beloved figure in TV history, with fans remembering her as the sweet and spirited girl from Kansas who won the hearts of millions. Don Rickles as Norbert Hackett. Don Rickles, born on May 8, 1926 in New York City, was a comedy legend known for his sharp wit, fearless humor, and unforgettable insults. When he appeared on Gilligan's Island in 1964, he was already making a name for himself with his insult comedy style. At 38 years old, Rickles took on the role of Norbert Hackett, a sly con artist who arrives on the island with schemes to exploit the castaways. Rickles' performance was classic. His quick barbs and sarcastic remarks provided the perfect foil to the other, more earnest characters on the show. Before his guest appearance on Gilligan's Island, Rickles was a rising star in the world of stand-up comedy, known for his ability to roast anyone, regardless of their fame or status. His unfiltered humor earned him the nickname the Merchant of Venom and made him a favorite among Hollywood's elite, including Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin. Rickles was never afraid to poke fun at the powerful and wealthy, and his roast-style humor found a home on stage and screen alike, making him a fixture in American comedy. Despite his comedic success, Rickles faced significant personal hardships. He experienced the heartbreak of losing his son, Larry, and the passing of close friends like Bob Hope, who had been a mentor and longtime colleague. These losses weighed heavily on Rickles, but he continued to perform, using humor to cope with his grief and keep his audience entertained. Rickles also faced health struggles later in life, particularly with kidney failure and heart disease, which forced him to slow down and limit his performances. Don Rickles passed away on April 6, 2017, at the age of 90 from kidney failure. At the time of his death, his net worth was estimated at $30 million, earned through decades of work in comedy, television, and film. His legacy lives on, not just as a master of insult comedy, but also as a man who made people laugh at life's absurdities and found humor in even the darkest moments. His brief yet memorable appearance on Gilligan's Island only added to the many reasons why Don Rickles will always be remembered as one of the greatest comedic talents of all time. Phil Silvers as Harold Hecuba. Phil Silvers, born on May 11, 1911, in Brooklyn, New York, was a comedic genius known for his sharp wit and rapid-fire delivery. When he appeared on Gilligan's Island in 1964, Silvers was already a well-established star, having earned recognition for his iconic role as Sergeant Ernest Bilko on The Phil Silvers Show. At 53 years old, Silvers brought his trademark humor to the show, playing Harold Hecuba, a pompous Hollywood producer who ends up stranded on the island. Hecuba's self-importance and exaggerated sense of superiority made for one of the show's funniest and most memorable guest appearances, adding a unique flavor to the cast of stranded characters. Before his time on Gilligan's Island, Phil Silvers had already achieved fame in both television and Broadway. He won 2 Tony Awards for his performances in Top Banana and A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum. His role as Sergeant Bilko earned him multiple Emmy nominations and solidified his place in television history. Silver's ability to combine slapstick humor with quick, sharp dialogue made him a beloved figure in comedy. However, Silver's personal life was often complicated. His first marriage to Miss America 1942, Jo Carol Dennison, ended due to personality clashes, while his second marriage to Evelyn Patrick was also strained by Silver's gambling addiction and a demanding work schedule. Despite these personal challenges, Silvers remained devoted to his children and tried to provide for them as best he could. His career continued to thrive, but health problems began to plague him in his later years. Phil Silvers passed away on November 1, 1985, at the age of 74 from a heart attack. At the time of his death, his net worth was estimated at $5 million, primarily from his successful career in television and theater. Despite his health struggles in later life, including complications from a 1972 stroke, Silver's comedic genius never faded. His appearance on Gilligan's Island remains a fondly remembered part of his legacy, showcasing his brilliance as one of the masters of comedy. Sterling Holloway as Bert Sterling Holloway, born on January 14, 1905, in Cedartown, Georgia, was an actor whose voice became synonymous with warmth and charm. At the age of 59, he brought his signature voice to Gilligan's Island in 1964, playing the minor character of Bert, whose gentle nature contrasted with the island's chaos. While Bert wasn't a major character, Holloway's distinctive voice added an unforgettable touch to the show, leaving a lasting impression on fans with his calm and friendly tone. Though Holloway's role on Gilligan's Island was brief, he was already an established figure in Hollywood and animation. His voice became iconic in Disney films, most notably as Winnie the Pooh, a role he became synonymous with, capturing the hearts of audiences with his endearing portrayal. He also voiced the Cheshire Cat in Alice in Wonderland and Kaa in The Jungle Book, characters whose whimsical and quirky nature perfectly matched Holloway's vocal style. His work in animation made him a beloved figure among generations of children. Despite his on-screen success, Holloway's personal life was marked by solitude. He never married, opting instead for a peaceful, solitary existence. Although he adopted a son, their relationship was strained by Holloway's demanding career. One of the deepest sorrows in his life was the death of his younger brother, a loss that weighed heavily on him for years. His personal struggles were kept mostly private, and he chose to retreat from the public eye in his later years, focusing on his work rather than seeking fame. Sterling Holloway passed away on November 22, 1992, at the age of 87 from cardiac arrest. At the time of his death, his net worth was estimated to be around $3 million, largely due to his extensive career in voice acting. Holloway's legacy as the voice of some of Disney's most cherished characters endures, and his memorable appearance on Gilligan's Island serves as a testament to his unique ability to bring magic to any role. His voice remains timeless, continuing to bring joy to generations long after his passing. Though these talented actors may no longer be with us, their work on Gilligan's Island continues to live on, touching new generations of fans. Their performances as the lovable characters of the stranded island remain timeless, and their legacies are forever etched in television history. As we remember them, we honor the joy and laughter they brought to millions, ensuring that their contributions will never be forgotten.